There are three proofs that God exists. Proof number one, logic. There's no way that nothing can produce something. See, there was a time, according to scientists, 13.8 billion years ago, when nothing existed. And then, boom, the Big Bang occurred with hydrogen and helium as the first elements. But here's the thing. Where did the first elements come from? Because if there was nothing, nothing cannot create something. So there was someone before the universe. And that person has to be greater than the universe itself. He has to be greater than time, space, and matter. So God, who is beyond time, space, and matter, created time, space, and matter. That's the only logical understanding you can have that the universe existed. You say, well, some scientists think hydrogen always existed, and then finally something happened. Well, then you might as well worship hydrogen, because hydrogen is your God then, because it's eternal. But the truth is, there is no eternal substance. Everything began at a point in time. The second proof is morality. Why is there good and evil, right and wrong? Because God, who is righteous, created a universe so we can understand right and wrong. And that comes from our Creator. So unless you're ready to give up the whole concept of right and wrong, good and evil, then you have to ask yourself, where did it all come from? But the third proof that God exists is God made us believe that He exists. We, of all the creatures that God made, we're the only ones that believe that God exists. Animals don't have the consciousness to think that way, but we're made to have a consciousness to think of a creator God, one who is beyond time, space, and matter. We have that capacity. So atheists can argue about logic, and they can say that hydrogen has always existed, and they can argue that energy never is created, and they can say it's always been here. They can argue that morality is just a figment of our imagination. It doesn't really exist. It's only comes into existence because of our consciousness, and we think that way. Well, you have a bigger problem, atheist, because now you can't even say what Hitler did in annihilating Jews and gays and all of that wasn't wrong, because you're saying that it's just a figment of our imagination. But let's forget those first two arguments. Ask this question. Why do we believe in God? Because God made us to believe. Why did He create it with us with the capacity to believe if belief in God isn't real? That's like saying birds were created with wings, but they cannot fly. No, God created us with the ability to believe in Him because He does exist. And the fact that we can believe is great proof that God exists.